If you've been writing proposals for a while, you have probably heard that you should price on value and negotiate on service. This is a phrase that is thrown around in our industry quite a bit. It seems pretty simple and straightforward. However, to really understand how to show your value to your clients, you must understand what that value is worth, both to you and to your clients. From this stance, you will be able to deliver the value to your clients while negotiating out the pieces that they see as lesser value. This allows you to pack more profit into the services you provide. This session will focus on breaking down the price on value and negotiating on services idea, defining value, creating the connection between value and price, explain negotiating on services, discuss how this can appear to deteriorate your value, and dealing with clients who can't see your value. Let's start by breaking down the philosophy of pricing on value and negotiating on services. Pretty simply, we want to base our prices on the services that add tremendous value to our clients. Then, we want to make sure that when we are in the negotiation phases, we are removing services from our offers. Seems pretty easy. We just need to know what we provide that is of high value to our clients and what all we need to do in order to provide these services to our clients. But every client is different. For instance, having you fill out all the paperwork for the permitting department might be a high value to one client and a low value to another. This is not about what you think is valuable or a high value service. It is about what the client thinks is a high value service. So let's discuss value. According to dictionary.com, value is the relative worth, merit, or importance, monetary or material worth, as in commerce or trade. These definitions shed quite a bit of light on what we are trying to define for our clients. What is the relative worth or importance to our prospect, and what is the monetary worth? Let's look at each one of these questions in turn. Relative worth or importance can relate to any aspect of the work as well as any process or system of the clients. Let's say the client's time is at a premium and they charge $300 an hour for their time. They may not see the value of paying you $500 to fill out the paperwork for the permit until you explain to them that you do this all the time and they should expect it to take 3 hours of your time to do it, which in turn means that they should expect to take 5 hours or more to do the same paperwork. That means that this is 3 times the investment for you to do the work. So even if you only charge $125 an hour for your service, and this already has a healthy profit on it, the value of you doing the work is well worth their time. So what if they only see their time at $25 an hour? Does this lower the value of you doing the paperwork? Having the energy forms and other paperwork ready to discuss in the meeting with the client would be very beneficial. You can show them kind of the complexity and the relationship between the plans and the paperworks and all of that coordination that we do in terms of paperwork for the permits. This will prove that the value is still there. They just need to see it from the experience, expertise, and technical level rather than the financial one. So how do we connect these values to a monetary cost? Understanding how valuable a service is to your client means you can maximize your profits for each service. To do this, we need to answer the following questions. How valuable is this service to this client? And what is a fair price for this service? It is important to recognize that neither of these questions deal with your costs to produce or the time it takes for you to complete any task. This is because nobody cares what it costs for you or how long it takes for you to do it. Consider this. If your furnace stopped working in the middle of winter, and then when you called the repair guy, if he told you it would be $2,000 to repair, you would pay it, even if it only took him an hour to make the repair. See, we don't care about the time or what it costs the business to produce. As consumers and clients, we only care about the results that we're going to receive. So how can you get answers to the questions of how valuable is this to the client and what is a fair price for this service? First, we can just ask the client, but put it in terms of the result of the service. For instance, every schematic design scheme gives them a new option for a spatial layout. How many are they interested in seeing? Or we can put together an investor proof package which lays out everything an investor wants to see in order to fund a project. Is that valuable to you? Placed in terms of results, we can sell the future and emotional component to the client. So how do we determine a fair price for these valuable services? This can be looked at from a variety of viewports. Does it save them time or money? Does it give them more freedom, more options, or more choices? Does it give them a tool that they can leverage somewhere else in the process? Then we can start looking at the monetary values of those. Is there a comparison, i.e. time or money, that we can look at in terms of the client's costs or the client's value? Is there a threshold or an unreasonable price to be paid? For instance, is it unreasonable to pay $2,000 to have your furnace fixed? Does the price that feels good cover your cost to produce it and leave enough for a profit? For instance, let's say you land on $800 for each schematic scheme if they only cost you $500 to produce. But you find that at $800, clients often ask for 3 or more. Then you could boost the price since the demand is high. If, by raising the price to $1,000, you find that clients only ask for 2 or less, then there is a threshold of perceived value here. Maybe you work on the sales pitch to improve the number of schemes per project, or maybe you decide you would rather give more value to the clients and lower the price back to $800. In this case, and in many cases, pricing is a system that's really worth testing. At this point, we have set you up to negotiate based on the value added services. Sure, you could drop the price of the schematic schemes to your $500 cost to produce, but the odds are that you won't sell anymore just because the price is less expensive, and it also reduces the perceived value of the service. Rather, if the proposal is too expensive, you need to figure out how you can say, well, how about we only do 2 schematic schemes and remove the investor proof package? That will take $4,800 off the total. If the client really sees value in these services, then they will work to keep them in the proposal. The trick then is to figure out how to make every service you can provide a value-based item that can be removed from the proposal. I know. How do you remove design development when that is what you must do for a permit at least? Well, there's your answer. If the client is looking for a permit, then you need to do design development services in order to produce the permit package. However, do you have to provide schematic design services? No. The client could provide the floor plans and elevations, and then all you would have to do was provide the service of checking to make sure that those met code compliance, and then you could alter them as such to make them comply with the required codes. I understand that it sounds like what we're doing is deteriorating your overall value as an architect. But really, what we're doing is aligning your high-value services to the client's system of values. See, a client is willing to pay you for the services that they value. So what about clients that can't see your value, that don't understand your value, and that aren't interested in an architect's real value to a project? Like a contractor that just needs construction documents, he's not interested in schematic design or design development, just give me the CDs so I can build it. Or the developer that just needs a permit. For these clients, you need to define very clearly what you will need in order to get them what they want within their time frames. Here's a system that you can use in order to determine this. First, make a table with a list of all the deliverables and columns for who will provide it. Architect, owner, contractor, etc. Then, if you have to provide it, things like code compliance, then put a check on your side if you have to provide it. Then, go through this list with the owners and the contractors and every party involved and determine who will be provided what items and what level of detail they are looking for those items. This will help to show them the value of the work that you provide. And then you can write a proposal based only on the level of detail and the value and services that you have agreed upon in the meeting where you determined who was doing what. The idea is to provide only the services that the client will value. Services directly linked to high-value services need to show that link. This idea will become more clear as we discuss the proposal strategies.